Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 172 of Total Retail Talks. In today's episode, Executive Editor Joe Keenan sits down with Kevin Hourican, President of CVS Pharmacy. Listen in as they discuss digital innovation at CVS and the impact it has on the customer experience. All recorded live at this year's Shop.org in Las Vegas. And now, on to the show.
Hi, I'm Joe Keenan of Total Retail. I'm here at the Shop.org conference in Las Vegas. I am joined by Kevin Hourican, who is the president of CVS Pharmacy. Kevin just gave a keynote speech here at the conference. We're going to talk a little bit about his presentation. So thanks for joining me, Kevin.
Thank you, Joe. Glad to be able to be with you this morning.
So let's talk a little bit, in your presentation here just this morning, you talked a lot about kind of some of the innovations that CVS is bringing to market and kind of the culture of innovation that you've fostered there. Can you talk about some of the different things you're doing? And I'm particularly interested in, how that relates to the customer experience.
Sure, yeah, happy to. What I'd start with first is, we covered three main themes today. One is that we're a purpose-driven company. Two, investing heavily in innovation and also into the omni-channel space. And the innovation that we do, the reason I mentioned the purpose-driven, our purpose as a company is to help people on their path to better health. So to do that, we need to help solve consumer problems. We need to understand our customers and what challenges they're having with, for instance, taking their medication. And then we need to bring solutions that are innovative to help them solve those problems. So today we talked about several of those initiatives, as a part of Shop.org. The first is that, the rising cost of medication in this country is a problem. Even our president is weighing in on that problem with the cost of healthcare and the cost of medications increasing at a pretty significant rate. At CVS, we believe it's our role, and we desire to be the pharmacy that does the most to help customers save money. But the truth is, our colleagues who work in our stores didn't have the tools to be able to do that. Wind back the clock 5-10 years from now, cost of medications was driven by your insurance company, and your copay, as you know it, was tied to the drug. If it was a generic, it was a $5 copay. If it was a branded medication, maybe it was $10, $15. Well, the industry's evolved, and there's a product now called a high deductible health plan that most people, if you're working for a medium or big size company, you're on a high deductible health plan, which means you actually pay the cost of the actual medication, not a copay. And that's a problem for many Americans. If your medication costs $50, you might have to make a choice. Do I pay for my car payment? Do I pay for my mortgage? Do I pay for food this week? Or do I pay for my medication? And I think most would agree that the medication is probably the thing they're not going to spend the money on. But these are medications that extend people's lives. They prevent heart attacks. They prevent strokes. So we built a tool called the Pharmacy Savings Finder that navigates all of the potential ways to save a customer money on their medication, and there are many of them, and it's complicated. It's deeply clinical, and we need to understand health insurance, how it works, pharmacy benefit managers and how they work. We happen to own one, so we have a lot of insights into that, and we've deployed this tool nationwide, and we're saving customers literally millions of dollars across the country. On average, when we use our tool to save a customer money, we're saving them over $400 per year. And I think most would agree that's pretty substantial and significant.
So you talked a lot about what you're doing in terms of saving customers money. And obviously, the other part of that is saving customers time. They're busy. Everyone's got busy lives. They need to be taking their medication. What are some of the things that you're doing in terms of the customer journey to make it just as easy to transact with CVS as possible?
Great. So CVS is founded on the platform of convenience. It's actually a part of who we are, being in the local community on the corner of Main and Main. We have over 10,000 locations, and for many, coming to our store is convenient. However, for some, coming to a store at that moment in time might not be convenient. Two consumer types that would be logical to would be a mobility challenged senior who has a hard time getting in and out of the car, or a younger working professional who doesn't have time to stop by a CVS on the way home from work. So we are the first and only pharmacy retailer who provides nationwide home delivery of both pharmacy and front store products delivered to their home. We believe it's imperative to be able to bring the convenience of CVS and the relationship that we have with our customers to their home for those that want it. So we offer same-day, next-day delivery. We're working harder to working hard to make it even faster and cheaper because we know that cost of delivery is a barrier for some. So our goal, and we intend to deliver on that goal, is to offer very, very inexpensive rapid home delivery. One advantage we have is because we have those 10,000 stores in the local community, we have 10,000 fulfillment centers that can pick, pack, and ship product to the customer's home, and we have to bring it only a mile to get it to them. So we're excited about the opportunities in omnichannel.
Yeah, that's a great segue into the next question. I was going to kind of ask about the different channels. You mentioned obviously the extensive physical presence across the country, online with the home delivery, and then mobile comes into play as well. So what are you doing to customers that have kind of gotten used to engaging with brands in multiple channels? They may be looking something on their phone, then they pop in the store, or vice versa. They could be in store, buy something online. So what are you doing to kind of create an integration and kind of a sticking point between those channels?
That's a great question. And we are in the healthcare business, and one of the things our CEO often says is healthcare is local. Customers want to have a relationship with their pharmacist. Oftentimes our pharmacist has worked in that community for 10, 15 years, knows our patients from when they're kids, they're now adults, and that relationship meaningfully matters. However, we need to be able to extend the convenience of doing business with CVS in the channel that our consumers prefer. So we have one of the largest mobile apps in the country. We have millions of customers who use our CVS app to schedule a refill of their medication, transfer a prescription in or out of CVS, order product from our front store to have it delivered to their home. And we could not agree more that the customers who have the most loyalty to a brand are those customers that are shopping in the store, using the web, and also using their mobile app. An example of that technology would be we'll send 1 billion text messages to consumers this year, letting them know that a medication is ready to be picked up, letting them know that it's available, and we'll embed within that text message, click here if you'd like it delivered to your home. Just as an example of extending capabilities and technology that we have. Last thing I'd say about it, though, is what we've learned is consumers do want a compelling in-store shopping experience. Several competitors, not even directly in our business, just across the retail industry, have chosen to stop investing in their stores. And you need to have a compelling in-store shopping experience for people to want to come to your store, and extend it even further into rapid home delivery and online tools to be able to have access to the customer in a compelling way.
So to enable these omni-channel fulfillment options that you mentioned and some of the other programs that you're running, obviously what's driving that is technology investments. So can you talk about a little, at CVS, kind of the philosophy on investments in technology and, kind of, where you're going in terms of delivering on the evolving customer expectations and the role technology can play in that?
Yeah, we think it's imperative that technology helps fuel innovation. Within the core of what we do, we'll invest $100 million in our core systems to help our pharmacists do a better job of providing clinical care, to help our pharmacists advise patients on how to take medications and clinical drug-to-drug interactions. But a very, very specific example where we've partnered with others is a recent announcement where we've brought our Minute Clinic business online. So we have 1,100 Minute Clinic locations across the country that provide affordable access to care at a very high clinical standard. But for many, they may have the need for service in the middle of the night. And so we've partnered with Teladoc, a small company that has the digital capability to connect a nurse practitioner with a consumer. Teladoc has fueled the technology. We fuel the clinical prowess of what the nurse practitioner has been trained to do. And we now have nurse practitioners available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if that patient needs a prescription to be written, the nurse practitioner can write a prescription and we can send it to a CVS store and have it delivered to their home within an hour. It's an example of taking the convenience of who we are and what we are that next step further to the consumer.
Yeah. So you've kind of referenced it. CVS operates in a competitive space. So going forward, kind of what is the strategic vision you have for increasing loyalty, growing market share in this category?
So we think there's 3 key components to be differentiated in the space. Number one, as I mentioned, is a compelling in-store environment. We're going to invest in over 3,000 stores this year to reinvent that in-store experience to make it a compelling place to shop. Number 2 is to bring forward compelling innovations that solve consumer pain points. and needs in both our front store and our pharmacy business. And number three is because we're a purpose-driven company to be able to connect with our consumers on their path to better health through those types of solutions. And one example that I'll use of how we can do that better is our Extra Care loyalty program. So it was the first and is largest consumer loyalty program. There's 70 plus million people who interact with it regularly, but we can make it better. And we're doing that through the buzzwords at shop.org of machine learning and big data and information in the cloud. And today we offer relevant, personalized offers to our consumers. Those offers can be even better with the power of big data and machine learning to better understand what consumers want and what they need, and to provide rich content and compelling, relevant offers to our customers, which we're doing, and we can do it even better, and then provide it to the consumer in the channel that she wants. In store on the receipt, in their digital app, and also delivered to their home.
Yeah, that the sheer size of that loyalty program presents you with a tremendous amount of data that you can then leverage and learn about the shopping behaviors of your customers, and then kind of leverage that to make their experiences better, I would imagine.
Yeah, we have a competitive advantage of this very, very rich data. And we need to leverage now technology to be able to harness that data in a way that allows us to provide even more rich content. So, for example, we'll send 1 billion emails to consumers this year with their offers. We can make that offer easier for the consumer to transact with. So very soon, within a month, we'll have a buy button in that email that just click buy, and if you want it delivered to your home, it'll be there within a day or same day if you need it today. So leveraging their purchasing pattern, leveraging people like you who have also needed product like, and even connecting pharmacy. I'll give one example and then I'll stop. A consumer with high blood pressure who's taking medication for that should also be taking a low-dose aspirin. That's a front store product. That's a relevant, contextually appropriate offer, and leveraging our data to be able to offer them, a store brand, low-dose aspirin that's available to them at a very affordable price and delivered to their home along with their medication.
Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Kevin Hourican of CVS Pharmacy for joining me today here at shop.org. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, be sure to visit our podcast channel page at www.mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher, but be sure to subscribe to our podcast channel page as well. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.